So it's almost 7:30, uh, Friday, 10th of January. Um, I've been awake since 4 o'clock, just before 4 o'clock. Sandy woke me up. So what's been going on is that the night before last, at about 2:30 in the morning, the furnace just shut off completely, and it wasn't propane. It wasn't. There was nothing we could see that was wrong, and we didn't know anything about the furnace. So basically, the temperature inside here dropped um, like super fast. So Sandy was awake because he usually wakes up or stays awake a lot more than I do. I'm old. I just go to sleep. But okay, now we'll see if it turns back on. Um, so last night, or the night before, um, we got up and we ended up using emergency heat in the form of tea lights and um, ceramic planters, and putting them into pots and things like that, um, to just try and maintain a heat sort of above, like above like too cold, I guess. And Sandy stayed up from 2:30 until about 7, and then I got up, and he went to sleep, and I tried to maintain the candles, which is kind of like herding cats. If you've ever had multiples of those, it's a pain in the butt because they burn unevenly, and then some of them burn in the center, and you like go out within 5 minutes, and others will burn for hours. So there's wax everywhere, there's candles everywhere, and we put them in pots and things. So try and get some thermal mass in here and just stop it from freezing. And the hardest thing was obviously it was warming the top part of the camper and not the bottom. So like my feet were just frozen. So I had to use one of those emergency heat packs in my boots. Um, anyway, and so they went like trying to look at YouTube videos and find possible causes and all that kind of stuff, and not knowing where anything was. Like, I mean, we've never done this before. We've never lived in a RV before, so we've had a lot to figure out and a lot to learn. And so once we sort of got going in the day, and Sandy had some more sleep and things like that, a friend had suggested to lubricate the furnace and things like that. So we did a bit of exploring and looking around, and we found where the um, furnace is outside, and um, cleaned it out because there was a wasp nest in part of that compartment. So we got rid of that and as best we could, and cleaned it out as best we could. And then um, a bit of like you're looking online again. We found a manual for it, which is great, except that it starts at page 9, and I don't know what pages 1, 2, 8 were about, but I guess whoever had it before didn't think it was important, so that's the thing. And we're doing all our internet on our phones, so everything's like really tiny, and it's exhausting to try and find information. But anyway, I then was just looking over the compartment outside, and I saw a little trip switch, and I'm like, I wonder, and I pressed that and turned the propane back on and came back back in, turn up the thermostat, and lo and behold, the furnace kicked in, which is good. And so it's done that. It tripped off a few times yesterday, but not a ton. And yeah, we got heat back and it was fine. Very noisy. So I think that's a rooster or a very sad dog. Anyway, so last night, we were up chatting until about 11 or so. So now it's a bit noisy, as you can hear, but yay. It came back on. So last night, after I went to bed, Sandy stayed up again because that's what he does. And basically, every time the furnace would kick on, it'll run, and then the fan would get noisier and noisier, and then just shut off again. And so he would go outside and reset the trips, turn off the thermostat, go outside, reset the trip switch, come back in, put the thermostat back on. It would run again, and then it would get noisier and noisier, and then shut off. And it's the squirrel cage. There's a sensor inside there that shuts the system down or trips that switch if it's not detecting movement of the fan. It's a very sensitive little switch. There's nothing major, but the squirrel cage fan is obviously not running smooth. So I think the bearings have gone or something like that. Anyway, so he stayed up doing that like every 15 minutes, going outside and turning on this stupid little trip switch button. And eventually he could not stay awake anymore, so he woke me up, and that was about 3:45 this morning. And it's like I said, it's just gone 7:30 in the morning. And I've been up since then and doing the same sort of thing. Like it was just like 4 or 5 times in an hour, going outside, dressed, bundling up even more than I am already. And the temperature was dropping, like it was down to like 14 a little while ago. But I went in and I found 2 spots where I put in a little bit of 3-in-1 oil, and just sort of tried to clear out debris and stuff like that. And for the last at least hour and a half now, touch wood. I don't even think this is wood. I think this is veneer. Whatever. Anyway, it's been doing what you just heard, which is powering down and then just powering back up after a sort of acceptable amount of time, which is great. So I got the temperature back up according to my digital thermometer, which is on this side. The furnace thermostat is up here, and it's set at 22, but that's telling me it's 18. So I don't know. I don't know what temperature it is in here, but I will say it's not as bad as the 18 last night felt, because, like I said, everything was above waist height, and everything below was just like minus 2,000 or whatever it was. So every 15 minutes we've been resetting the trip switch, and then sort of sleeping in shifts to try and keep heat on in here. And I don't know if I want to get someone in to fix it, or I just want to see if I can replace that fan or fix that fan, but it's impossible to do when it's I think it's minus 16 outside right now, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty brutal. So we'll see what happens later today. Like I said, kind of proud of myself for getting the fan going, and then, like I said, the last like hour and a bit, it's actually been not needing to be reset. No, about an hour. It's about an hour. So yeah, I'm sorry if the sound is bad, but really that's quite noisy, and I don't know how else to fix it, but it's better than it has been for a while. So we'll see. I just hope that long may it continue, and long may it continue to bring in some warmth. So that's the update for today.